Asela's first love. I was fortunate to get a job at an American sales manufacturing company where I met my first Sri Lankan girlfriend. In between laying material and cutting sales, she would have a friend pass me a note stating her true love for me. She and I had been working within the same company for 2 years. She was a skinny girl with light skin and long face. She had an innocent look and a kind heart, filled with joy, love and generosity. She was always helping others. My friend said I should date her, so I took her out 1 time a week for 4 years. She was very happy to be with me, but I did not feel comfortable with her. She was not exactly my dream as a life mate. She was always threatening me that we should not break up or she would jump into the river if we ever did. We often went on mobile dates traveling from Negombo to Colombo, our capital city, then returning. Saturdays were park days. Her life happiness seemed based upon me and not on her own goals. On her own inner choice for peace. I decided to end the relationship. She wasn't happy about it. The best I can recall, after I had told her, let's hang out with others too, she must have made a scene. All I know is that I had gone back to work making sailboat sails to ship to America. But she had gone outside to jump into the river. Later she told me that Miss Ashari had seen her first after she had gone outside to throw some lunch food to the birds. Miss Yanina, she had called. Miss Yanina was soaking wet and tried to hide behind a big log that was in the water. You come out from behind those trees, Miss Ashari said, I see you. Miss Yanina looked down and pounded the water with her fists. Nah, he's breaking up with me, she said. Who? Mrs. Ashari asked. You know who, that man? Miss Yanina said. I can't take it. Yes, you can, Mrs. Ashari said. Come on, get out of the water. Learning to love yourself and do the things you love starts today, and you don't need him, whoever he is, for that. She soon married and started up a daycare center, her life dream. But I stayed at Sri Lanka Sales, SLS, for 13 years, first in the cutting department, then in the shipping department. Then, I was promoted to being in charge of packing. When I became a leader at SLS, I truly felt in my heart that good things were in store for me. After over 10 years of lifting and sweating, and checking packages and working overtime, I was finally in charge of a team of men whom I supervised. My new compensation package included company transportation from my home to work and back again, daily paid lunch with the managers and increased pay. Being gainfully employed meant I now had money in my pocket. At least 10,000 more than I had had before. I had to decide how I was going to spend my money. My first priority was to take care of my mother and younger sisters. Almost all of my other sisters were married at this time. Renuka to a Buddhist, a lorry repairman. Rosie to a nice, older, single man whom she met after she returned from 5 years in Dubai with a significant dowry. Nirmala to a very young man, a match made through an introduction and proposal. Michael to a rather young heiress of a significant property. They were all settled, but my mom and 2 single younger sisters, the one born much later, and I were still staying in my brother George and Ruwanmali's house, and I needed to take care of them. I have to admit that I was little careless at first in my early 20s, hanging out with a jokester who loved to drink arak, alcohol, on weekends. We would go to restaurants, eating and drinking until we were sick. Then after 4 years, it hit me. I realized that this was all a big waste of time. I was getting fat and not reaching my goals. I did not want to waste my life smoking, drinking or hurting my body. I decided to go to the gym to get fit. When I arrived, the master trainer was not there, but his assistant was in. He took one look at me, said I had potential. I started to slim down and build up my muscles. Before long, people started to notice me. They'd point at me and say, he is very fit, or, he is very good looking, or, wow, what a body. The master trainer had been away earning money managing a restaurant in Saudi Arabia. When he returned and saw me and a few other committed guys, he said, let's work out together. The other guys didn't last, but that trainer and I developed a good relationship. 3 times a week we would work out together, then his wife would cook, and we would sit around talking. One day he said I was looking good and could start joining bodybuilding competitions. To my surprise, at my first contest, I won a 3rd place trophy. After that, we went to local, community, district-wide, state and national events. I became a model, and shortly after that, I started to receive numerous proposals. But something was off. Share your video.